Broadcasting live on the UnitedWest.org AM radio network and simulcasting on DirecTV, iHeartRadio, Roku, and the World Wide Web, this is Enemies of the State with Tom Triska.
All right, here we are on a Friday. Friday the 13th.
That's right. It is.
Friday the 13th. Everybody, Tom Trento, your host, Enemies of the State. And whenever it's Friday around here, even the 13th, it is
Jumpin' Jumm'ah Freaky Friday.
A little Sharia traveling music, please. Suhail, our buddy. Kind of quiet these days.
Give it up. Killing infidels always got to win.
This is a Rogues Gallery. And the dancing Sharia lady, of course.
Oh, yeah.
All right, everybody, Tom Trento here, Enemies of the State, name of the show. We got two guys that kept the ship afloat for the first 3 days. Actually, one of them kept the ship afloat for
He gets employees
3.
a month. Yes, he does.
The other guy was in for 2. How many days were you here, Mark?
No, I don't care.
You were a little under the weather. I was a lot under the weather. I'm feeling a lot better.
I don't care.
And we're ready to go on Triska-Deka-Phobia Day.
Yes, it is. And we do have you did pronounce it correctly, Tom.
Triska-Deka-Phobia.
That's
right. Fear of Friday the 13th.
Well, let's break it down. Triska. 3, Tris, 3. Deka, 10. 3 and 10.
13.
Phobia. Islamophobia. Triska-Deka-Islamophobia Day. How about that?
There you go.
It's Triska-Deka-Islamophobia Day. And yes, we fear Islam, particularly the lethality of Islam. And we grieve for our Muslim brothers and sisters caught up in the spiral, the death spiral of Islam. Oh, good. Okay, yeah, we'll put Barry first. No. You want to do Michael first? Okay, that's good. Little direction from the producers there putting this together. This is live, folks. We're coming at you live.
I like it. Yeah, you're dressed.
You like my clothes?
You're dressed nicely, Tom.
I am dressed. In about a week, we are out of here. We are out of the United States of America. And the folks we're going to be bringing on the show from Israel, from the Middle East, we will be with those folks. And this is the typical ensemble. I figured I'd model the ensemble for Israeli dress. Here's kind of a loose shirt.
Aren't you supposed to dress for the job you want?
What do you mean?
Aren't you supposed to dress for the job you want?
Oh, that's the sort of the corporate doctrine. You dress for the job you want. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah. I got the job I want. Okay. What happens when you got the job you want? I'm doing exactly what God wants me to do, what I want to do, and I dress like this. This is Israeli dress, very casual, pair of jeans. Got my new walking shoes yesterday. Sports Authority had to get some new kicks because on our mission to Israel, we're going to be going in the desert. We're going to be going up to the mountains. We're going to some wet areas. You got to be prepared. The weather's going to be fabulous in the 50s at night, 70s, 80s in the daytime. Sea of Galilee. Should I get my bathing suit, put that on for the folks?
No,
I've been trimming down, man,
Tom,
30 pounds.
No, Tom, don't do that,
30
please.
pounds. You ready?
Please, Tom,
I'll
don't
do
do that. No, I don't want to see
I'll
it.
do it.
I don't want to see
I'll
it.
do it.
I don't want to see it.
Okay. All the girls will have
that's
to.
good. That's good.
Okay, good.
You're fine. You're perfect.
All right, we got a lot for you today. We got Michael Ganoe in a little bit, who's been following the V15 people. Victory in 2015, the Occupy movement, basically, in Israel. He will be with us shortly, and even more shortly, we have our analyst, Barry Shaw, He will be on and work us through the complexities of the Israeli election, and it is not looking good, ladies and gentlemen, for Benjamin Netanyahu.
No, it's not.
Who a little over a week ago was riding a wave of endorsements and accolations here in the United
Well,
States.
you got Ari Agozi bailing on him.
He's crashing and burning at home in Israel. We'll find out what that's all about. And you may be asking, who the hell cares what's happening in Israeli politics, Tom? I'm trying to go to work and feed my kids. Well, the issue is inextricably the national security concerns of Israel are the national security concerns of America. The national security concerns of America are inextricably, try to say that twice fast.
Inexplicably?
Inextricably, and inexplicably, both of those. They're the same. They are the same. We are viewed by the enemy, Islamic jihadis, as the little bad guy and the big bad guy. We are the big bad guy, the big diabolos, the big shaitan.
The Diablo. Yeah.
And when Israel has a setback on national security issues, Jews worldwide will, Jews in America, and Christians in America, and America. That's why we work so hard for national security concerns. And one of the places we're going to be visiting when we are in Israel, simply for historic archaeological reasons, for biblical reasons, and for geopolitical, national security reasons, is the mountain, Mount Moriah, the mountain where the Genesis talks about Abraham about to sacrifice his son Ishmael, and Abraham about to sacrifice his son Ishmael.
You want us to correct you, Tom?
Yes. I was. Our producer director may not be quite up on their biblical history.
I was just letting you go. I didn't know. I thought you were making a point.
Where Abraham, for the record, folks, Abraham sacrificing his son Ishmael is Muslim theology.
It was really Isaac.
Not Jewish
and
theology.
It was done right here. And it was done right here at this little place
on Mount Moriah, where the facts, the forensic evidence indicates that little building you saw is over it.
Right.
Abraham, 3,500 years ago, is going to sacrifice his son Isaac, and God brought a change about. We used a ram, a scapegoat, all of this, and people write in, well, it wasn't a ram, it was a ram. In any event, the location of that place was so significant in Jewish history that the first temple, Solomon's temple, was built over it. And that got destroyed. Then another temple was built, and that was destroyed in 71 AD. And then the diaspora happened in 71 AD. The Romans basically made Jews disperse worldwide. Many stayed right in Israel, right in Jerusalem. There's been an unbroken chain of Jews in Israel and Jerusalem from the beginning of time, the beginning of entry into the Promised Land. And then about 500 years later, Muslims come, take it over, and they go, oh, I know, let's co-opt Jewish history and build our golden, crazy-looking thing over the mountain where the Jewish temple was. So this is the Jewish mountain where the Jewish temple was. Right now, there's a little inconvenient building on it called the Dome of the Rock, over the rock that Abraham was going to sacrifice Isaac on, not Ishmael.
I thought this building was in Boca Raton.
It does look like the same one. That building right there is extremely important to Muslims on a false narrative, false story. And we'll do that another time. But right now, they got the building there, and Jews are not allowed to go up there and worship or pray or do anything. Non-Jews are allowed to go to the Jewish mountain where the Muslim Golden Dome building is. Non-Jews are allowed to go, and they can actually pray. But these days on the Jewish Temple Mountain could be a little tough going because the jihadis pay women and children. They pay women and children to harass tourists up on the Temple Mount. And we want you to take a look at this little piece from Bare Naked Islam, our dear friend Bonnie, who put some great stuff up. How did you piece in Bare Naked Islam?
Let me pull that up.
1 second. Hold on.
She's great with words.
1 second. 1 second.
She's an old ad girl.
1 second. Go ahead.
That's not it.
No, I got it.
Yeah, we're just trying to switch screens here.
You know what? You need a bigger boat.
You need a bigger boat.
Oh, all right. Now time for a commercial. Commercial-free radio.
All right, there we go.
If we had some money, folks, we can buy the computer we need to make this stuff work a little more smoothly, though.
A little faster.
What we're doing.
A few more inputs.
All right,
There's the story
Bonnie's
from
article.
Bare
Can you
Naked
read that?
Islam. Our good friend Bonnie. Title reads, Jerusalem. Muslim scumbags harass Australian tourists at Temple Mount.
She's great with words, Bonnie.
The
Yes,
alliteration
she
is
is.
great.
Hard to misunderstand what she's saying, right?
Okay.
All right, well, let's play this. We're going to show you what takes place pretty regularly, and our dear friend Jerusalem Jane has reported back many times on this, and we're going to go there with our cameras, and we'll see what happens when we are there in about 2 weeks. Take a look at what happened on Temple Mount very recently to some Australian tourists. For the radio audience, got a bunch of Muslim kids, 12 to 16 years old, some Muslim men and women, and they're just yelling and screaming at the Australian tourists. They're just trying to visit a tourist site.
Akbar.
You hear a bunch of Allahu Akbars, and they're all dressed in their hijabs, they're full burqas.
Full burqas.
Fully covered. They don't want to be on camera. They want to be on camera, but not knowing who they are. This is Islamic harassment. This is the kind of stuff you just kind of blow off and go, you know, it's not going to work.
I want you to be scared. They told me off to zip up.
That's your tax dollars hard at work, America.
Yep. They're funded through UN disbursement of money to Gaza, to the West Bank.
UNRWA, United Nations Relief Works Agency.
Yep.
Partially funded. Our tax dollars, United States tax dollars, go to the Palestinian Authority, which in turn pays these people to harass Jews up on the Temple Mount. So you, America, your tax dollars are funding the harassment of Jews in their homeland.
Those are Australians even. So that's how bizarre this is.
They probably got a couple shekels in it also.
Now, it looks like it may not be safe up there. That's not an issue because there's Israeli police and border police all over the place, a lot of uniformed police. And many of the Muslims that you saw in that crowd are actually Israeli agents undercover. So, you know, they allow some of the harassing to go on. If it's too bad, anybody pushing anybody, then they step in. So don't be afraid to go there, visit. This is the world we live in. And the world could get more dangerous in the very near future because of an election that's going to take place in just a few days. Today's Triska-Deka-Phobia, the 13th of March, 4 days from today. On the 17th, there will be an election in Israel, and it ain't looking too good for the hardline conservative who knows how to fight the jihadis. Looks like the other guys may get in. This is a redo of 2008 with President Obama and his leftist policies coming in. And we have
Hope and change.
A phenomenal guy.
Hope and change.
Is Barry first or second? I forgot.
Barry's going to go number 2. We got,
okay.
We got Michael Ganoe.
All right.
Hersheys for
Barry's
Heroes. Oh, my God. Michael smokes.
Yes. You didn't know that?
No, he
we're just teasing.
doesn't. I'm
We're
joking.
teasing.
Smokes
We're teasing.
chocolate Hershey fake cigarettes. Don't you know that? Ganoe would never smoke a real cigarette.
No, he wouldn't. He was giving us a hard time earlier. So
He was making fun of us smoking
So we
earlier.
just thought we'd throw it back at him, make him look bad. But he doesn't.
You
All
can
right,
smoke
ladies and
on
gentlemen,
radio.
Tom Trento, WSBR. I haven't
Bo-
said that in a while. WSBR, Sunny Boca Raton Radio. We are on your commercial radio dial. We love blog radio. That's great. We're on the real thing, terrestrial radio, where you drive in your car, or you got your boom box going down the street and you hit the button. Any more boom boxes?
No, Tom, there's something called an MP3 player now.
MP3 player also, yeah.
The boom box went like this, like that. Or like an Apple Watch. We all got to get Apple Watches.
No,
I want the gold one for 10 large.
Yeah, to have useless stuff on our wrist.
Well, they're going to be hooked to our brain soon.
We're on WSBR Radio 740 AM every day, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Tell your friends to watch. You watch the show or listen to the show. People go, whoa, you guys are great. We didn't know this stuff. You kind of make us laugh, but you make us also cry with the quality of the information. Yesterday's show, David Yeroshemi watched the show. I sent you guys his letter.
Yes, I saw it. He was impressed.
He said, man, the quality of the show and all, you guys are doing a great job.
Yes, because Robert Muse from American Freedom Law Center was our guest.
Yep, he was on very substantial information today. But right now we have...
Well, hold on.
Wow.
Where else are we on the radio, Tom?
Oh, we're in Tampa Bay, Florida,
Hey,
which is 4 hours from where we are now.
It's a big market.
WHFS 1010. I like that.
Hello to our terrorist jihadi friends over there, Ahmed Badir and Hassan Shibli. Hassan Shibli, who just filed a $30 million lawsuit on behalf of the Todashev family, suing the FBI for wrongful death. $30 million. CARE, the terrorist organization, is suing on behalf of the family of a guy who is friends with the Boston bombers, who in all likelihood is responsible for a triple murder of 3 Jewish men in the Boston area. That's who CARE is representing in a $30 million lawsuit against the FBI. So... Hello, Tampa.
Good job,
Tampa Bay, you have a terrorist in town.
Yes, you do.
And we'll be bringing you more information on that. But right now, we're going to focus on the Israeli elections because of the national security implications. And next Tuesday, we're going to have either a 2 or 3 hour special show live from Israel. We'll be here still in the States. The following week, we will be in Israel. We'll be doing our show every day from Israel. That's going to be very cool, too. Yep. So you'll watch our show shot 7 hours earlier, or 6 hours, whatever the time difference is.
It's 6 now.
6. You'll be able to watch our show every day at 4 o'clock. That was shot earlier that day. It's going to be very, very cool. But right now, we're going to go to our dear friend Hersheys for Heroes, Insight to Israel, Michael Ganoe. Michael Ganoe, welcome to the show.
How you doing, buddy?
How are you, man?
Hey guys, it's good to see you guys again. God bless you. I love what you're doing.
I love that shot, man. We got that perspective going right down. Looks like you're going into infinity there with that shot. It's beautiful.
It really does.
All right, what's been going on the past week with your life? How are you? How is Hersheys for Heroes? What is Hersheys for Heroes? Get us up to speed on that, then we'll get into the election.
Okay, so recently, to support the work I'm doing here, and trust me, this ain't Hollywood, but last week I was in 4 commercials. I did an audition for a Richard Gere movie that's going to start filming at the end of the month, and I actually received the parts as a diplomatic attaché to the Israeli ambassador, to the Israeli prime minister, and so I'll be doing two days worth of shooting, and it's 600 shekels.
L'chaim!
It's like
Mazel tov!
It's $125. You know? Woo, man!
Yeah, so anyway, but whatever it takes to get the job done. Yeah. Then on Sunday, I do a soda commercial where they had me get a manicure.
Oh my word!
And because the camera's going to be on my hands.
Don't let your IDF friends know you're getting a manicure, Michael. Come on.
So things with Hershey's for Heroes are going good. I'm expecting 1,000 chocolate bars in shipment right now. And I say this, folks, I need you to send Hershey's for Heroes. 1,000 chocolate bars aren't going to cut it. I need more because there's a lot of soldiers. The Israeli Defense Force is preparing for a possible 3-pronged front. And Tom, I meant to send you the article. I've been busy all day because I went to a political event. And because right now the Palestinian Authority just thwarted a huge terrorist attack that was to take place here in Tel Aviv. And the only reason they thwarted that attack was because they're waiting till after the election to see what the results are. If they commit any kind of terrorist attack, they know that Bibi will come in with a heavy hand and it will look good for him. And so they're waiting until after the election, and then they're going to do whatever they want. If the left wins, then they know the left is spineless and they will not stand up against Islam, and they're self-haters anyway. They'll blame themselves. It's our fault because of the way we treat the Palestinians, who actually have more rights than the Jews do, if you know what the laws are here. But we need Hershey's for Heroes, folks, because when things happen, we will be on the front lines. I did it during Triska-Deka-Islamophobia. We were being fired at by Hamas. I've got the video on YouTube, but we want to show solidarity at the American grassroots level with these soldiers by giving Hershey's for Heroes.
All right, and a couple of things on that, Michael. The Hershey's for Heroes program is Hershey bars are sent to Michael, but that's not just it, a piece of candy for the soldiers. On the back, you put an inscription. Now, do they tape it on? How do they get the inscription on the back of a Hershey bar?
You can go to the About section of Hershey's for Heroes, and basically you keep the notes short. We love you, we pray for you, we stand with you. There's some people that put scripture. You can print those notes up or handwrite them. But understand, in your handwriting, it must be legible because not every Israeli soldier reads English. So if you keep it short, they get the picture, and it has a huge impact on the morale.
Well, hey, I got a question for you, Mr. Hollywood. Will you autograph them and send back a Hershey bar for all the soldiers? Are you going to hand autograph them?
Will I autograph them?
Yeah, you're Mr. Hollywood, Mr. Superstar now.
It's a waste of pen ink.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're dealing with very important national security issues. And whenever you bring those issues up, you got to have people at the tip of the spear who are willing to put their life on the line to defend the principles and policies of the West, of the United States, of Israel. And those right now are the fighters of the Israeli Defense Forces. Michael has a phenomenal ministry. He's a Christian who left Washington, D.C., successful communications work in Washington, D.C., up on the Hill. Left it all, said God wants him in Israel to encourage and assist the Israel Defense Forces. He travels all over that country from the tippy top all the way down to the bottom, wherever there's soldiers campaigning, training, fighting. And the chocolate bars are simply a token of the commitment that he conveys symbolically to the fighters from people worldwide who put little messages on. So a little 50-cent chocolate bar goes a long way. Michael, we will be bringing chocolate bars with messages on from the United States. We'll give them to you, and we'll distribute them together. It'll be great, actually. We'll do that.
I appreciate it, guys. And listen, America, you'll never know. You have to understand, if you're not really involved or keep up with what goes on, I'm telling you, the note on that chocolate bar, because these soldiers, I've had people attack me on Facebook, say, how can you, on the Hershey's for Heroes page, you support baby killers and all these other things. It's the most absurd and ludicrous comments that people are making, and they make it out of ignorance because they listen to the leftist media. They're not listening to United West and Insight to Israel.
All right, folks, so that's Hershey's for Heroes, a very important part of our work, Michael's work. He put this together, he's leading it, and we're helping support it however we can. Now, to go from the war fighters to the decision makers as to when war, if necessary, will occur, we got to step into Jerusalem, into Tel Aviv, and get an update on the political environment of Israel. What's going on with that, and then in particular, what's going on with this V15 movement?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, Tom, I can't even describe. These people have sunk so much money Every YouTube ad before you watch a video is V15 against Bibi. They say the most slanderous things. Their videos on YouTube, their V15 videos, make it look like Israel is completely destitute, that there are people starving in the street and the children are not receiving a good education and there's no food in their mouth. And all of this comes down to blaming Bibi. Now, anyone who understands government knows that one person does not control everything. But that's their key focus. And I'll tell you, Jeremy Bird and these guys, Obama's people, it's unbelievable the money they're sinking into it. And also in print media. And there is and I'm going to find it here real quick. There's a right-wing newspaper headed by Sheldon Adelson that is free. And let me see here, and I apologize. It's called Israel Today, Israel Hayom, and the left wing is so adamant in destroying the right wing, which is the key focus on defending this country, that they're now trying to outlaw the paper unless they start charging for it. And you know, these are many of the things taking place here. These people are spread out all, and the ludicrous things they're saying about Bibi. In fact, before this election, and before Bibi spoke, they used all of the media and swore up and down it would tear apart the fabric of the relationship between the United States and the American government, and it's interfering with diplomatic relations with Iran. But if you watch yesterday, John Kerry said, "Oh, we don't even have diplomatic ties with Iran. This is not even something that's set in stone. You have to pay attention to the media. It's not a contract that's not set in stone. We can't even really enforce it. We're just hoping they'll keep their word." But this is what V15's been saying, that Bibi's speaking before the Congress, and everything that Bibi's doing is going to destroy the relationship with the United States. And Israelis at the grassroots level, under the strong delusion that Americans don't like Bibi, that Americans are against the United States because of this speech before and after. And they have a huge media. It's exactly what Obama did in 2012.
It really is, and that's what it's coming down to here at 33 minutes after the hour. Tom Trento, your host, WSBR Radio out of Boca Raton, Florida, 740 on the dial. HSF, high frequency, what is it? Signal.
HFS, WHFS, 1010.
WHFS, 1010 in Tampa Bay. We're on another station, and that's just the radio side of things. On the internet, theunitedwest.org, teapartycommunity.com, and Breitbart. We put this up on pieces of it up on Breitbart. What we have here is a situation that is mind-boggling to many of us that follow this. Same exact hopey-changey environment in 2008, where George Bush was too tough and didn't negotiate, and was too set in his ways.
The cowboy.
For the world community. Yeah. The Mr. Slick, remember Saturday Night Live with Obama? Mr. Slick would come along, negotiate the world into peace, but we need hope and change. And those
keep
were
the oceans from rising, actually.
Those were the key words of the 2008 campaign, hope and change.
Fundamentally change Israel, I guess it is now.
You're not going to believe, folks, these are the same exact words being used, not just by the nitwit operatives on the ground for V15 victory in 2015, funded by Obama's people, but the potential Prime Minister Herzog in speeches is using the phrase, "We need hope and change." And it's working. That's the problem. It shows that human nature is very, very similar. If you philosophically are a conservative and believe evil is part of the human nature and needs to be defeated, you're most conservative. If you believe evil is part of the social fabric and needs to be managed, then you're going to be on the leftist side, the liberal side. It's how you view the concept of evil that usually philosophically divides conservatives and liberals. Well, right, and all you need is good PR people and you don't got a lot of voters. Do you know by any chance, Michael, the number of votes necessary for a party to win in Israel? Do you know what kind of numbers we're talking about? Probably 2 million. I mean, tiny numbers.
Actually, I don't have those numbers, but what they're projecting is that it's called the Zionist Union. It's a very deceptive phrase because they're a leftist group. They need just 41 seats. That's 20 short of the 61 majority. They get how it works is if they get those 41 seats that's projected because of the polls. There's several polls that have been taken. Then what they do is they form a coalition. And because they have that amount of power and influence in the coalition, they bring in all these smaller splinter groups, which actually have no power. They're like, it's almost like the Green Party and things like that. And they build up this coalition, which gives them that power. And people to the cabinet, and it determines the prime minister. So in the last 5 polls, the Zionist Union had 24, the Likud 22, and then you have a joint Arab group, which is 13, and the Arab group obviously is always going to be left-wing. And then you've got the smaller splinter groups. So if they just win those 24 seats, that's going to determine who the prime minister is, and it will more than likely be a left-winger, Herzog.
Wow.
So they're not actually voting for prime minister. They're voting for the people in the party. Then they're going to form these coalitions.
We're going to get into that in detail with our next guest, who's been doing a lot of work on the particulars. So we'll go to him in a minute. Is he ready by any chance?
He was before.
It was before, but he's not now.
No, I'm not going to keep him on the whole time.
Yeah,
here.
bring him on.
All right, well, we're going to have to say goodbye to Michael first before we bring him on.
Oh, we don't want to say goodbye to Michael, but ladies and gentlemen.
Bigger boat. You're going to need a bigger boat.
If we had a few more shekels, we can have a machine that can bring several people on at the same time for your viewing pleasure. But right now, we're going to have to let Michael go.
Yeah, that's right.
Michael Ganoe.
Bye, Hollywood. Bye, Mr. Hollywood.
Are
you going to see us when we're there, or are you going to be doing your Hollywood gig?
I'm going to hang out as much with you guys and get that encouragement as I can. I love you guys. I love the United West. Thank you for all that you do.
All right.
All right, Michael.
And donate to Hersheys for Heroes. Go to the Facebook page.
Next Tuesday, we're doing a special live. We need live reports from the ground. We'll talk to you about that, okay?
Okay, sounds good, guys. God bless you guys.
Later, man.
You too.
Bye.
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom.
Shabbat shalom, yeah.
It's Friday, baby.
Shabbat, yeah.
All right.
And it's Jumpin' Jumm'ah, Freaky Friday, and
Yes,
it's
it is.
Triska-Deka-Phobia. Whoa, what more can you want, ladies and gentlemen? I sound like there's a local TV guy who sells rugs. Whoa, what more can you want? I go, think what an idiot. And I'm doing the same thing. Whoa, what more can you want?
So
tell me here's where we are.
well, we got him. You
got Barry already? All right, 38 minutes after. Tom Trento, your host. Name of the show, Enemies of the State. Why did we name it that way? Oh, I don't know. Why would we name a show?
Oh, why did Fox steal our name?
Yeah, Fox stole our name.
And stole trying to steal our show.
The way we view the United States of America, the majority of people here just simply want to go about their business every day, take care of their families, work, go to church, go to synagogue, whatever, play baseball. They really don't want to deal with all the crazy stuff. Some people are called to deal with the crazy stuff. We're called to deal with the crazy stuff. Crazy stuff means that there are enemies out there that want to hurt those people that just want to live the American life.
What could you be talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. Abdul are here.
Yes,
you made it in.
Yes. I come in very quietly. I was late as always on the Fridays, but I am here.
How was Jummah today?
Oh, fantastic.
You missed the beginning of the show. We showed some of your brothers and sisters harassing Australians on the Temple Mount.
Oh, that is very good. Were they Jews or just...
I don't know if they were Jewish Australians.
Well, that
does
they were
it matter?
there.
Well, I can only hope they were.
Okay. Well, that's why we named our show Enemies of the State. So we are the wolf dogs or sheep dogs and sheep herders. How'd that whole thing go? There are
sheepdog.
And then there are sheepdogs. So
there's sheep, there are wolves, and there are sheepdogs. We're the sheepdogs.
We do that whole thing there. But one of the ways we bring you delicious, I'm still on the Hersheys for Heroes thing, delicious facts, important facts, critical facts, forensic analysis, is through a series of folks that our dear friends over in Israel, one of whom is with us right now to help us navigate this complex system in Israel. And again, I'm reiterating at 40 minutes after the hour, the reason why we're spending so much attention on Israeli politics is because of Israeli national security. And if you will, Damon, let's put up, I want 4 graphics to show the folks the sequential importance of the Middle East. Let's start, in fact, with a wide shot of the Middle East, if we can do that. Okay. All right, here we have the Middle East right there. And where is the little tiny country of Israel? Right over here somewhere.
There it is.
Oh, let's go in a little deeper. There's the country of Israel. Way down the bottom is Eilat. A lot's been in the news the past couple of days, possible concern with terrorist activity down there, and all the way up to the north. That little chunk on the right-hand side, right over here, is the Golan, right in there. I am getting good at this stuff. And then Gaza is somewhere.
Down there.
There it is. Gaza's right over here. Right over there.
How's the weather going to be this weekend?
High in the low 70s.
There's a front 80s. Coming in off the Mediterranean Sea.
Let's go in a little more deeply into Jerusalem. All right, there we have, that's the old city right there. The various quarters on the top left is the Christian quarter, then the Armenian quarter, the Jewish quarter, and then the Muslim quarter, divided into 4 different responsibilities for different people, with the Temple Mount, the Mount of the Jewish Temple, or Al-Aqsa. That's the Dome of the Rock. Al-Aqsa is the mosque that's right next to that. This land is so important, the Middle East is so important to your national security. Israel, Jerusalem, and that piece of dirt there, that we focus on it like no other people. You may get 30 seconds on CNN. We dive very, very deeply.
Seconds.
And then you may.
On CNN, you'll get 30 seconds of slander.
of some analysis. But then we bring people like Barry Shaw. Yeah. We bring him on, and let's welcome Barry Shaw to our show once again. Barry, how are you?
How you doing, Barry?
Hi, Tom.
Howdy.
Glad to be on.
Oh, man. As we start here at 43 minutes after the hour in Florida, in your heart of hearts, how are you feeling right now about the election?
Wow. It's a real horse race. The latest figures are that the Herzog-Lipny camp are pulling slightly away from Bibi's Likud party. And the difference in seats that they could get, if this is correct, could be crucial to the outcome of who is going to form the next Israeli government.
And if you had to bet right now, who's going to win?
Well, I'll tell you, Tom, I've spent yesterday and today crunching numbers here. And I don't think we're going to get any Israeli coalition with less than 6, I repeat, 6 political parties in the coalition. And however I crunch the numbers, it looks highly likely that the left Herzog-Lipny camp can cobble together about 68, 70 seats. You need 61 for a majority. Whereas Bibi, according to the figures right now, could probably creep up to about 60, maybe 61. So the advantage is going to be right now, as things stand right now, with the Herzog-Lipny camp.
Wow. Now, for our folks, the parliamentary system and the Knesset is a little more complex than our direct system where you vote for individuals. There you vote for a party. The party gets so many votes, then they are the majority party, and then they start do horse trading and cutting deals with other parties. And you may have a party of 3 or 4 votes that says, all right, we'll join you, labor union, Zionist union, we'll join you, but we want in return A, B, and C. And so sometimes you got these coalitions of cross purposes, and I don't know how these things work. But Barry, why is Israel? It's very difficult for the average American who sees Netanyahu as a world leader, sees Israel in the midst of very serious national security concerns with enemies on every border, how the country would make a change like this. Why is this even an issue right now in Israel?
There are a couple of complicating factors here, Tom. One of them is the economy. We have an economy over here whereas outwardly Israel is doing pretty well compared with a lot of other countries, even European countries. Internally, the cost of living has gone up, the cost of housing has gone up, and you've got a lot of fairly capable young couples, young families, individuals who are finding it extremely difficult to get into the housing market. And these are playing on. Take that together with even the security situation, where you're right that people see Bibi as the strong security guy. There is still a resentment or unhappiness as a result of the last year's Gaza conflict, Tom. As you may recall, a lot of Israelis were expecting this conflict to put an end, to be the last conflict with the Palestinian Hamas group, and Hamas is still in play. So that everybody expects there's going to be another round of conflict, maybe in about 2-3 years' time, and will be added again. So there's a sense of dissatisfaction that our boys went in there, we fought the war, we were under thousands of rockets, and we didn't come out as the absolute winner.
Yeah, that would be a disillusionment for people, and it's very difficult for people to make the connection, the geopolitical connection, as to why the IDF, through the leadership of Netanyahu, backed off. And some of the analysis I heard was there was a balancing act to keep the Hamas in charge so that there's some authority figure, but not have them reach a level of lethality. So it's almost like keeping a caged animal, inside the cage. If there were complete failure on the Hamas's part, complete destruction, you would have the Islamic State and others moving in there, and the national security concerns would be infinitely more difficult than managing the Hamas, a weakened Hamas, where there's so much intelligence already in place for the Israelis.
I have a question.
So to understand that's a little difficult. Mark, and then Damon, and then we got a lot of questions for you, Barry.
Real quick, we were talking with Ari Agozi the other day, and he said the security issues are pretty much the same with both candidates. Both candidates are going to react to Iran, are going to react to Hamas, are going to react to whatever external threat comes the same way. And he says this whole election boils down to economics. Is it true that both candidates who potential prime ministers are going to be the same externally towards Iran, towards
well, let me. Can I dwell on the Palestinian issue? We mentioned Hamas, Tom, and the outcome of the Gaza conflict.
Yeah.
There's a major difference between could be the constituency of the next government. If it's Bibi managed to get a government together, it's going to be right wing, very strong in security, very firm. But if it's going to be a Herzog Livni coalition, it could go soft on more positive, don't use the word positive, but a more open and more flexible negotiations with the Palestinians to try and maybe bring the Arab League and the Arab moderate, so-called Sunni states into the equation to help with the negotiations, to give a more positive face to the Europeans, because Israel's under a lot of pressure from the European Union right now, and be more flexible with regard to making peace arrangements and making concessions to the Palestinians.
Yeah, suicidal policies will gain popularity.
This is where I come in with leaving Hamas in place, Tom. I think you will agree with this, that whoever you make peace with today, whether it's Mahmoud Abbas with the Palestinians, you're going to wake up with Hamas in the morning.
Yep.
Because the Hamas is eventually going to take over whatever Palestinian authority remains. As this feeling of insecurity when it comes to any potential negotiations.
Now, is it true, Damon, you had a question for Barry?
No, it was more of a comment. He said that a lot of Israelis were upset that Netanyahu didn't crush
them.
Hamas.
We wanted them crushed, remember?
Like we said they should, and it reminded me of why George Bush won I think him not taking out Saddam Hussein in the first Gulf War cost him his reelection.
Yeah, no, that's and that's an interesting story. But the situation is the Hamas is in place. Barry Herzog, who from everything we read and understand, he's a wonderful man from a great family. They've done wonderful stuff. I think his grandfather, someone was the former president of the country. He served in the IDF, but according to Moti Kadar, Dr. Kadar, he served in the 8200 intelligence wing. A bunch of bespectacled nerds like Kadar. That's how Kadar referred to Herzog. He's not a combat fighter. And Livni, she did some work, I guess, in the Mossad in the early days. But these people are leftists, and they're two-state solution people. Do they really believe in their heart of hearts, the potential future Prime Minister Herzog and power-sharing Livni, a woman? Do they believe that there could be two states side by side with peace and love and flowers and tranquility?
Well, let me, in discussions I've had with members of the Herzog Livni camp, some of the politicians running for places in the next Knesset, I want to tell you, they're not coming out with any sort of positive answers, or they're not confident that the Palestinians will accept anything. Let me give you a dichotomy we've got going on here. I questioned one of the politicians. I said this way: his party, their party, has a two-headed sort of party of Herzog and Livni. Herzog said a week or so ago that he looks on the Jordan Valley, you know the geography of the place, Tom, as Israel's eastern security border. Livni said that she looks at East Jerusalem, or parts of Jerusalem that she's prepared to negotiate and give some away, would end up, according to the Livni doctrine, as, let's say, put it this way, Israel's eastern border, somewhere in the streets or alleyways of Jerusalem. But when I said to the politician, how could Herzog possibly look at the Jordan River as Israel's eastern security border, when, if they're talking about a two-state solution, the Jordan Valley and the Jordan River will be an integral part of a sovereign Palestinian state, and no Palestinian leader would ever agree to have Israeli boots on the ground for any security measure along the Jordan River, which would divide a Palestine to Jordan. And I can't get answers to that.
You can't get answers to that pretty simple.
Basically what it means is, even the Herzog Livni camp do not believe at the end of the day, even after a year or two of showing real initiative in trying to restart or kickstart peace with the Palestinians, and the Palestinians being the rejectionists that they were before, then they would then turn to the Europeans and to the Americans and say, look, we tried, we did our best, but we can't get anywhere. We need our security.
Right.
I'm not sure how well that would be received. But I don't believe they cannot make any decision on that in any case, because it would have to go through a referendum in Israel.
Yeah, that's not happening right now. Yeah, Damon, you got a question?
I just want to bring the map back up. And what Barry's talking about is if the Palestinians actually get control of the border between, on the west bank of the Jordan River, basically Jordan, which could fall to ISIS within 2 heartbeats, not to mention any other litany of terrorist groups, once they cross the Jordan River from Jordan into what would be a Palestinian land, it's practically a straight march into Tel Aviv and Netanya.
Yeah. Now, all of this is comical in one sense, because if any of these potential geographic scenarios develop and land is given over to the Palestinians, half of Jerusalem and the Jordan Valley, we know what's going to happen. There's going to be rocket attacks immediately.
Yep.
And maybe at some point, the Israelis are going to go, that's it. Now we have to really destroy the enemies on our borders, push everybody back, and then in fact gain more land, push further into Jordan, and establish it maybe that way. Maybe that's what's going to happen 5 years from now, because we know what the other guy's going to do. That's why it makes more sense to go with a conservative view with Netanyahu to keep these guys at bay. But let's get inside the heads, Barry, of the various enemies encroaching on the borders. Up on the northwestern corner, you got Hezbollah up there right now. And then over to the right a little bit to the east, we have the Islamic State in Syria. Let's just look at those two guys up there. How are they viewing a Labor Party, a leftist win in Israel next week?
I think they're looking at it that Israel would be, security-wise, they would think or assume that it's going to be weaker. Don't forget that there's another element with the elections coming up, that it's conceivable, not very likely, that in order to create a coalition, maybe Herzog or Livni may consider looking at the Arab joint list, which will end up as third highest party in the Israeli election, and adding the Arabs into a coalition. Not very likely. Not very likely, because
and these are the same Arabs.
Candidates, the members, the parties are so anti-Zionistic, anti-Israel, Palestinian. They look on themselves as Palestinians rather than Israeli Arabs.
It's like the Democrats here.
They call for the destruction of the country, too.
It's like the Democrats here hate the Republicans more than they hate our foreign enemies.
This is a nightmare.
It's such a parallel. It's ridiculous.
It's such a nightmare, Barry, because we have just gone through, well, how many years now? From 8 to 57 years? 6 plus years. We've just gone through exactly what you're going to be going through of Hopi, Changey. Herzog comes in. The same exact words are being used. All right, it's 57.
There's another slogan that we heard in the past from Obama and from Hillary Clinton when she was Secretary of State about in this area, the status quo is unsustainable. And the Israeli answer with that is, you know what, the status quo is a damn sight better what you're going to get if you change it. Hoping change in this region brings something worse, not better.
Well, it's change you
can
believe in.
The so-called Arab Spring, which became the Islamic winter, for example.
Definitely change you can believe in, Barry.
Getting rid of Mubarak and getting Muslim Brotherhood.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, Barry, here's what we're going to be doing. We thank you for your input today on Triska-Deka-Phobia. Friday the 13th, jumm'ah Freaky Friday, and Shabbat for you out there in a little bit. Thank you for your input. On Tuesday, we're putting together a special show where we're going to have live coverage. What time will the polls close on Tuesday, March 17th, which happens to be St. Patrick's Day? Be a bunch of drinking up people here in America.
We need the look of the Irish, Tom.
Yeah, you're not kidding. What time do the polls close in Israel?
The polls close over here at 10 p.m. Israel time.
10 p.m.
Yeah,
So
I can promise you
4 o'clock to us.
poll results at about 5 minutes past 10.
Now, can we come over there and vote for you, Barry? I mean, we have open border elections here in America. Can we come over there and vote in Israel for your election?
You're a goyim. You can't vote over there.
You've got enough headaches with the guy you've got in the White House.
I'm not kidding. We don't
and the
need
people you
more.
have in the State Department.
Right,
But I want to tell you, let me put it this way, Tom, and to all the viewers, let's put it this way. Whatever exit poll comes out, we will not have an Israeli government for, at least in my opinion, 30 days after the election. There's going to be horse trading going on here, and don't be surprised if we still don't end up with a government and we have to go to new elections 6 months later.
Oh, my word. God. We will be there in the middle of that. Barry Shaw, we'll see you next week on our special show. You take care, be safe. Okay?
And remember, Barry, vote early, vote often.
All right.
Okay.
Take it easy. Barry Shaw, ladies and gentlemen, doing great work in Israel. And that comes to the end of our show. We thank you. Tom Trento for our boys here did a phenomenal job. Thank you, guys.
Get a little time.
I got a minute there.
Yeah.
I
take
can do my
a minute.
I can do my magic trick. Let me show you my. Can I walk over here for a minute?
No, don't walk over there just yet, because I don't know where you're going.
I'm just going to reach over.
No.
I'm going to stay in.
No, go ahead, reach over,
Okay, just like that.
Go ahead, reach
All
over.
right, now I can do my magic
I'll tell
trick.
you what, we never got to Mr. Nihad Jihad
Save
Awad.
him. I got something better. We only got a little bit of time.
Okay.
Here, I got this right here.
Okay, hold on, you zoom in.
Yep, we I was sick, as you know. I missed 3 days. Mark and Damon filled in admirably. Did a great job. Didn't they do a great job? They did a very good job. What are you doing like that? What's the deal with that?
Yeah.
I don't want your flu, Trento. I don't want your flu.
You got a little. Explain to our radio audience what you're doing.
I'm having a conversation with our president, okay? I think it's time. Should we leave this on?
Yeah, leave it on.
Probably
After
should
election,
leave it on.
because he's
Definitely.
hiding. He's hiding.
Yeah, we'll do it
I'm
after
not
the
worried about him getting sick. I'm worried about getting the Kenyan flu from him.
The Kenyan flu. The Kenyan strand of the flu. On that happy note, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.